come over. Not like you're buying anything. Well met, friend. Interested in Driftwood's finest catch?
You look down at the cart and see fish with flaking scales, tumours and, in one case, 3 heads.
It's free to look. Just don't touch nothing unless you're going to make my purse jingle. Fair travels, friend.
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
I'd give anything for a fresh bit of fish, I would.
Thank the divine you're here to protect us.
Joe's mum smells nice. Hello, mister.
The little boy looks at you. He picks his nose.
You be careful. My daddy's a magister.
No, he's not. His daddy's a fisherman like most daddies round here.
They stare at you in disbelief. Then they start laughing.
You're weird. We're waiting for our friend. He went for a swim. He'll be back soon.
He went swimming all the way to Fort Happy.
Fort Joy?
That's what I said. Fort Joy. He's going to find his mum and bring her back. Oh, I want my friend back.
Ben, if he finds his mum in Fort Joy, they're probably both really happy now. So don't worry. Isn't that right, mister? Well, then they'll be home soon, won't they? Why would they stay in a place that isn't nice? See, Ben? Joe and his mum will be back soon.
Well, I guess so.
Thank you, mister. Now, if you don't mind, we're busy waiting for our friend.
Bye-bye, mister.
The kids turn back to the water. Hackles raised, the dog barks at the sand built up beneath the building.
You're nice, and I'm a good dog. Yes, I am. There's something not right, and that's wrong. It's under the house thing there, and it's bad. I can smell it. Not like this. This smells real bad. This smells evil.
Justinia executes 2
It wasn't me, Boyd. I swear it.
Get her, Dallas. Get that sorcerer.
I don't care if we tear this place apart plank by plank. We will find him.
The water looks a bit cold.
The dwarf reaches into a barrel and pulls out a fish. His knife glides through the scales, crimson guts spilling out in its wake. The innards fall to the floor, landing in a pool of dark bile. You'd expect fish to smell, but these reek.
Aye. Your knife needs to be quick and true for these. It's easy to cut off the extra fins, but dancing your blade around the tumours can be tricky. Lord only knows how the boss managed to find a buyer for this muck. But they're heading to Arks. And there's some steady gold heading this way, too.
He runs his knife through another fish and flicks the blade, sending a shower of guts to the ground.
I'd say your guess is as good as mine. Except I got the sense not to ask any questions. Now why don't you march on? I ain't been paid to wag me chin.
The dwarf turns back to his work, slicing and disemboweling fish after fish, as the blood and black bile mix and swirl around his boots. Looking at the barrel, you see that someone has scrawled Black House on it in paint. You cast your eyes around to see that every barrel headed to Arks has the same inscription.
Here, leave them barrels alone. I told you to take a hike, so scram.
The dwarf peers at an expertly dissected fish, gently poking its innards with his knife.
Fascinating. Most fascinating. Oh, my. What do you want? What's it to you? Express your interest somewhere else.
The dog sniffs the wooden decking, like there's something wrong.
Something's wrong. Something's wrong, and it's not right. I don't know, but there's something wrong, and it's underneath the floor. Be careful down there, mister. You're not smelling what I'm smelling.
Mum's very nice.
Easy now. We're not looking for trouble. Not that kind, anyway. We're after a man. Grey beard, grey cloak. A little crazed in the eyes. Seen him?
The Magister's eyes narrow, and her lip curls as she assesses you.
It's vital that you report anything unusual. We must know. Is that clear? He arrived in Driftwood some days ago, dressed as a tinkerer. He bought and sold a few knickknacks. But we thought nothing of it until our brothers started vanishing. As soon as he knew we were onto him, he ran. We think he's hiding in here, but he's a canny one. Now, be on your way. Who knows where he could strike next?
Oi! You look the kind of ruffian who can keep a secret. Fancy a good time? Head downstairs in the Black Bull Tavern. Tell the lummox blocking the way that Blathin gave you a tip-off. Grisha's still the favourite.
What is it? I'm going to wind up out of my ear if they think I'm spending all my time talking to you.
The dwarf grimaces and points the tip of his knife at his handiwork.
Whatever's wrong with these fish is causing a lot of hardship for a lot of folk. I want to figure out what's happening to them. See if there's anything that can be done. Yes, as it happens. I need to see the effects of eating these fish firsthand, if you understand me. Wonderful. Now, there's 3 samples that I wish to learn more about. Care to choose?
The fish instantly churns your insides. You double over in pain. A sudden vivid sensation of floating in darkness assails you. There's something in there with you. Something. Hungry and corrupt. You can't breathe. The dwarf suddenly drifts back into view, peering at you with fascination.
How do you feel?
A stream of black bile suddenly erupts from your mouth and across the dwarf's boots. He doesn't even look displeased.
I see. Well, I'm sure it was nothing but a side effect of the fish. Speaking of which, I've learned a great deal from observing you. I owe you a great debt.
The dwarf puffs up his chest and proudly gestures to the fish.
The fish is indeed malignant. Humans are affected by it in the same manner as other species. Thank you, but no. I can only allow for 1 specimen per volunteer. The fish you ate is known as yellow ridgeback. Quite a cunning breed, often used in concoctions to increase alertness. But this one touched by the void itself. Who is to say how such a creature might alter an alertness mixture? Seek out somewhere that peddles alertness herb mixes. Adding these unique ridgebacks might make quite the impact. So, now my work must continue, as soon as I've got in my quota of fish, of course. Farewell.
The dwarf peers at an...
Fascinating. Oh, my...
The dwarf shakes his head with irritation before turning back to the fish.
You're blocking my light. Go away. Nothing wrong with taking pride in your work.
The dwarf grimaces and points the tip of his knife at his handiwork.
Whatever's wrong with these fish is causing a lot of hard... Yes, as it happens. I need to see the effect. Wonderful. Now, I have two...
The fish instantly churns your insides. Everything turns black. A sudden vivid sensation of floating in darkness assails you. There's something in there with you. Something. Hungry and corrupt. You can't breathe. The dwarf suddenly drifts back into view, peering at you with fascination.
How do you feel?
A stream of black bile suddenly erupts from your mouth and across the dwarf's boots. He doesn't even look displeased.
Well, I'm sure any discomfort will pass shortly. Besides, I've learned a great deal.
The dwarf puffs up.
The fish is indeed malignant. Humans are affected by it in the same... Ah, yes, of course, but... This mightn't be quite what you were expecting, but the fish you ate is known as crimson bream. Quite a fast, vicious breed. It's often used in the creation of ferocity mixtures. But those use regular specimens, not this kind. Who is to say what might happen if you brewed a ferocity mixture with a crimson bream that's been touched by the void itself? The effects could be quite potent. Seek out somewhere that peddles ferocity herb mixes, but make an addition. One of these, unique breeds. So, now my work.
The dwarf peers.
Fascinating. Oh, my... no.
The dwarf brushes your hand off and shuffles back a step or two.
I do not have... I ain't got no time for talking, dwarf or not. I've got to carry on with my job. Nothing wrong with taking pride in your work.
The dwarf grimaces.
Whatever's wrong with these fish, as it happens. This brown fish...
The fish instantly churns your insides. A sudden vivid sensation of floating in... The dwarf suddenly...
How do you feel?
A stream of black bile suddenly erupts.
But I'm sure any discomfort will pass shortly. Besides...
The dwarf puffs up his chest and...
The fish is indeed malignant. Dwarves are affected... Ah, yes, of course, but the fish you ate is known as the umber monkfish. A remarkably intelligent breed. In fact, its flesh is often used to create intelligence mixtures. Now this monkfish, one that's been touched by the void itself, who's to say how its flesh could augment an intelligence brew? It could prove to be most valuable. Find somewhere that offers intelligence brews, then add this monkfish sample. The effects could be most interesting. So, now my work must...
Get them out, and you can get back to work.
There's a sorcerer somewhere in this worm-ridden dump. Have you seen him? Great. If you see anything suspicious, report it at once.
The fish wished it had been the one that got away.
Locked.
My thanks once again, stranger. With your help, I might make a breakthrough yet. Well, let me see. You tried the yellow ridgeback. Ah, yes. Find somewhere that peddles alertness herb mixes. My findings are very promising.
If any of you see so much as a rat's hair out of place, you tell the magisters. Then we can get them out, and you can get back to work.
You see a man, well-fed and wealthy, but stress has lined his face and narrowed his waist. He tries to ignore your presence, fails. He sighs.
See here. I'm very busy. The factory is crawling with magisters, and our shipments to Arx are held up. Time is money. Don't waste my money. What do you want? Fish. This is a fish factory. I'm shipping fish to Arx. Now, please, there's the door. I suggest you use it. That's privileged information. I have a trade to protect. You take me for a fool? Good day to you. Don't let the door hit you on the way. You're still here. You're still here. Try.
You see a man, well-fed. He tries to...
See here. I'm very busy. The factory is crawling with magisters. If that's some kind of riddle, I ain't about to play along. Now, unless you've got something on your mind... A murderer, or a sorcerer, or some other species of miscreant. Whichever it is, it has nothing to do with me. A sophisticated imperial lizard like yourself will surely know that in business, there's a market for everything. You just have to find it. Or...
A dark shadow passes across his face.
Sometimes it finds you. That's privileged information. I have a trade to protect.
He gives you a cool...
Round here, you're the enemy until you've convinced us otherwise. So no, I don't trust you as far as I could roll you. Good day. Don't let the door hit you on your way out.
You see a man, well-fed and...
You took your time. The magisters are searching the place, and Lohan needs to get his stuff out of the basement if he doesn't want to lose it. Good. And if you get caught, I know nothing about it, and this conversation never happened. Good day. fine.
This again.
One barrel of fish stands out from the others. It's sealed and marked with a cross.
This place stinks. But some of those barrels look interesting.
One barrel of fish stands...
Look out. I see a trap nearby.
Dripping with liquid sauce, this barrel is sealed and marked with a cross. Nothing stirs in the dank and stinking basement. Inside, you find not fish, but weapons. Powerful weapons. The kind of weapons the Magisters took from the Hollow Marsh.
Let it be. No, sir.
I clean you out. Empty. Come play, little beast. Come die. I know you, beast. Come to me. I alone know your worth. I know I am a... I know your... Come to me. Snuff it out. Clean the gods away. I clean you out. Come through. Eat.
My thanks once again, stranger. With your help, I might make a breakthrough yet. My findings are very promising, but speed isn't a virtue of my field, I'm afraid. Well, I'm afraid I'm a humble.
You're still here. Try not to be. You're still here. If any of you see so much as a rat's hair out of place, you tell you're still here. Try not.
He looks surprised. Might be faking it. Might not.
What weapons? What basement?
He swallows, like he has a lump in his throat.
You look like the kind of person who's very forgetful, with the right motivation. I have a sum of money in my pocket. It adds up to a very good time in the tavern. God, fine. Take it and go. And if you say a word about this to Julian or anyone else...
He leans forward and lowers his voice.
Expect trouble. Fine. But I warn you, don't push me any further.
What? You been needing something from me, lad? Ain't much inclined to rub elbows with humans, if you catch my drift. Decency, eh? Oh, I had me some decency, back in the day. Days before the Reds, days of the Divine, long gone. Glad to hear you say it. The day will come we'll overthrow 'em, you mark my words. Until then, I'll practice the art of gutting unspoiled fish. I had friends. Good friends. Not even dwarves, some of them. Reds put him on a ship, sailed him to Fort Joy. Ever heard of that place? Fort Joy? They send you there means you ain't never coming back. You mean to say you escaped? Crawled your way out of the belly of the beast? Crikey, so you're a sorcerer then. In that case, you must know about the fugitive. That fella all those Reds are looking for. I mean, if he's a sorcerer too, you'll want to do right by him, won't you? Make sure they don't catch the poor bugger.
The dwarf leans in and begins whispering conspiratorial.
This fella runs along, right? Sweating, panicking. Reds racing after him like hunting hounds. Hide in a barrel, you fool, I yelled. And what do you know? He did. Problem is, he's still in there. Been hours. Can't go nowhere, he can't, not with the Reds around.
Barrels, piles of fish, he could be anywhere.